nice. So I'm going to be making beets today. Pickled beets in mason jars. Right now I'm just soaking off the mud off the beets, and I'm going to be chopping off the heads. As you can see, these beets were grown in my garden. So they have their long stringy root, and I peeled off all of the greens outside as to not bring any bugs in. Okay, the rest of that should just slide off, so that's good. One beet done. I got into pickling about 2 years ago. I love doing it. It is one of my favorite things to do. I did about 22 jars of pickles this year. And this is my first time trying beets. I love pickled beets as well. So if you want to use this recipe, feel free. I hope I do an okay job showing you how to do it. And I hope they turn out. Okay, so now we have all of our beets chopped up. Okay, let's turn on high. We'll let that do its thing. While that's cooking, I'm going to go over the full recipe with you. You can hear my dog running around. So first you cut the tops off the beets, wash them, cook them. That's what we're doing right now. We want to preserve the water that the beets are being cooked in. Once they're cooked, we're going to put them in some cold water to make sure that they cool. Then we're going to peel off the beets skin. Apparently this is the most messy part. We're going to wash and rinse our jars. I'm going to sterilize my jars. It doesn't say that to this recipe, but that is just a pickling essential. We're going to cut up our beets if they are too large to fit in each jar. And yeah, we plop a bay leaf on top in our jar. Then we're going to cover it with the brine. So our brine is going to be 2 cups of beet water. That's the water that we preserved, 1 cup of vinegar, and 1 cup of sugar. We're going to cook the brine till the sugar is dissolved and it's coming to a boil. Yeah, I may have to double up on this brine, so we'll see what happens here. Again, I don't have a canner, so what I'm going to be doing is using a large pot, and I have, I'll show you this, this wire, and it holds each jar in the large pot. So they want us to process them for 20 minutes. That is quite a long time. I'm assuming that is correct, and that is what I will do. So then you remove the jars from the pot and place in a rack to cool. And then the jars' lids will pop. And then, yeah, you just store them in a cool, dark place and wait for them to process a little bit longer, and then you can have them, and they will be delicious. So as you can see, we've got some steam going here. Pretty soon, once it starts to boil, I'm going to poke them with a fork, see how they're doing. I'm assuming this is going to be like potatoes. Probably take about 10 minutes to cook, just like when you're mashing potatoes. We shall see. Is my the Bernardin utensil set for preserving. So this comes with, I'll show you guys, jar lifter for taking out your jars out of your boiling water bath, and also for when you're sterilizing them. This just grabs the lids, pulls them out. It's perfect. And I have this. It sits in the lid of your jar, and it just helps you with pouring when you're pouring in your brine. So this is a multi-tool. One end, it has different measurements for how high you want your brine. So you would just take the lid of your jar. Once you're filling your brine, you'd fill it to about here, and just make sure that whatever distance your recipe calls for, that you are leaving that room. That's for pressurizing. Make sure that you leave some room so that then once your jar seals, you've got some room there and your liquid isn't right up to the edge. Otherwise then you'll get some spillage and it'll start to rust, and it's disgusting. This is to remove air bubbles if you're doing something that's, like for me, when I'm doing pickling, there's a lot of air that gets in with the cucumbers. So you basically use this to move the cucumbers around to let some of that air expel. The other thing we have in here is this is pretty funny, it's a little magnet, and when you're canning you have to heat the seals on your lids, and because they're metal, use this to pick them out of the hot water that you're heating your seals in. So yeah. Okay, so while that is happening, I washed my jars, and then now I'm going to place them in the sanitation bath, which they'll be in for usually leave it in 5-10 minutes till they're like hot, and then I kind of pull them out as needed. So I'm just gonna toss these in there. Okay, so now I'm removing the ones that are kind of medium sized And I'm going to throw them in the cold water bath to remove the skin. Okay. Now I'm just going to put these guys in here. Okay, so the skins just come off like so. Okay, so I now have my beets peeled. They're still smoking, still hot. I'm now going to strain. Let's see if we can move out here. There we go. I'm now going to strain the beet water as some of the skin came off. So as you can see, I've just set up a big Pyrex measuring cup, and I'm just going to pour the beet water through there. Okay. Okay, so there is our beet water, and that we will use as the base for our brine. Okay, so now we're gonna do the brine. We've got, I'm gonna do 2 cups of sugar. And then 2 cups of vinegar. So 1, 2, we do 4 cups of the beet water. So this is 2 cups. Sorry, I hope if I let you guys see it, right? Now I'm just going to leave that on the element. I'm gonna boil it and then let it simmer. And yeah, that's gonna be our brine. Use a stirring utensil that is plastic and black, because I don't want it to stain one of my wooden spoons. Yeah. Just going to stir it a little bit until the sugar is dissolved, and then we'll let it simmer. So while the brine is doing its thing, I have pulled out my jars from the sterilizing session they were having in my big pot. I'm going to start to fill my jars. This is my first time filling jars for this, so we'll see how it goes. So I'm going to take my first jar. I'm going to take some of the little guys. I have my plate of beets just over to the side. I have my bay leaf. These are some pretty great ones that I had bought for our soup. And just pops open like this. And look at, I thought it was on a hinge. It's not. Look at all these bay leaves. They're perfect. They're dried, ready for use. So I'm going to put one of these in each jar. At the top it says. So we're going to do that. So I'll set that there. Okay, let's go. I'm going to plop a couple of these little guys in this one at the bottom. I would say these can go in whole, these this size. So I'm just going to put those in whole. I'll do 3 of those whole. This one I'll do all small. Too big. No. I feel like that's all that's going to fit unless I cut a couple. Maybe I'll cut a couple of these guys. No, they're jammed in there. For good. For life. There we go. Okay, I'm going to cut this one in half. Plop that in there. And I'm going to cut this one in half. Plop that in there. Good. Okay, that's a bit better. And I'll just cut one more in half. Perfect. Okay, bay leaf. Pop that little guy in there. Great. And yeah, so I'm gonna just do every jar, and then we will fill them and put them into our water bath. So yeah, don't these just look great? So I've cut these up. I'm going to place them into our jar. I think I'm only going to get 5 jars, but I have cut up our beautiful, let's see if we can, there we go, beautiful beets. They look so delicious. I really want to eat them right now. And we're just placing them in here. Oh, great. It's okay. It can be washed. I'm pretty sure beet juice washes out of can just plop a couple of these guys where there's some room in the other jars. Okay, and then this guy I'm just going to cut up, plop in here, find some space. Yep, good. So 5 jars it is. And I'm going to be selfish and keep all of these to myself. And I'll just pop. I did 2 bay leaves because my bay leaves are pretty small. Yeah, now we're just going to fill it with the brine. So I'm just putting our little lids in the heat there, and that will soften them. So I have my jar, or sorry, filling the jars with brine. I have my jar with my beets, my bay leaf, and I have a clean cloth to wipe the rim. You don't want any debris on the rim when you're sealing your jars because that could cause an improper seal. So I'm just going to fill this. Normally I just dip it in and fill it, but oh my goodness, I don't want there to be beet juice everywhere. The vinegar solution that I use for pickles, whole other story. Nothing wrong with a little vinegar hanging around your kitchen, but beet juice, yeah, no. Okay, so we're just going to, oh, actually, wait, I'm going to use my spillage saver, and we are going to fill that pretty much up to the rim of the spillage saver, and then I'm going to see how close I am to the rim. Okay, and then I'm going to use this device. Okay, it already looks like I need a little more. Okay, pull that out. As you can see, there's debris and beet juice. Oh, I just need a little bit more. I'm just going to freehand this. Okay, good. And double check it. That is close enough for me. And then we remove the debris from the lid. Make sure that you don't burn yourself. And then we take our little guy, and I'm just going to grab our lids, which are right over here, very close to us. And also make sure not to burn yourself here. Take the lid, flop her down, and then you want to take your canning lid, or sorry, I guess, I don't know, that's kind of a lid, and you just press it down to a hand seal. Don't do it too tight because there's going to be some air that's going to escape. Yeah, and then you just repeat the process. Okay, so we need a little bit more brine juice there. Great, so I'm just going to put a little more in there. Check that. Yep, perfect. Okay, and we'll take our little guy here. Get our lid. Flop her down. Give it a hand seal. Good. 2 down. Go ahead and close. A little bit of a touch up there. Maybe you can swipe it more. Okay. We're gonna get our little guy. Good. Okay. Last one. I'm giving a little bit more of a amount of room in these guys because I've never done beets before, so we'll see. See if that was a good idea. Just hand tighten. Good. We're ready to put in our bath. So I've placed my jars in. And we are just going to wait 20 minutes. I've set my timer here, and they will stay in the water bath for 20 minutes. As you can see, there's some bubbling happening. That's the air escaping, and that's what eventually makes them pop their lids. We are now at the step where the processing is almost done. So that was 20 minutes. And now is our time to remove it. So I'm just waiting for our beeper to beep. And then we will pull these guys out. So say hi. And that's going to beep in a few seconds. I have, oh, there we go. Okay, so I'm going to pull these out now. So that's 1, 2. You can hear them sizzling a bit. I'm going to leave these. I'm not going to tighten it anymore like it said in the thing, because I really don't want anything to explode. And yeah, so there are our jars. It's very hot. I'm going to use these in salads, little sides. You could even heat them up with a little bit of cheese. Goat cheese is always good with these, with pickled beets. And pretty much anytime you get a beet salad anywhere, they're going to be using, if it's not hot, it'll probably be pickled beets. So yeah, so now you guys have learned the process, and hopefully these taste delicious when they're done. Another lid just popped, of course, when I had the camera not on. You can see these two have popped. Okay, so this one has popped. But thank you for joining me on this journey. It was great to have you. And if you want me to do any more of these type of videos where I am processing something or, you know, cooking. I'm not much of a baker. I do bake, but it's not my forte. But yeah, just let me know in the comments. Thank you.